As your trusted Vanderpump historian, I listened to Scheana's book, My Good Side, and I'm here to give you all the details. Something you should know about me is that I used to host a podcast on Vanderpump Rules and interviewed the entire cast for the first 3 seasons. I also watched every single episode since season 1, day 1, and probably rewatched the seasons in the series at least 3 times now, if not maybe more. My initial thoughts on Scheana that were, of course, confirmed by this book is that she's the biggest pick-me. She's incredibly insecure. She needs validation from men, and she's the biggest people pleaser, which she over and over again admits. For sure, my favorite chapters were her reliving her Vanderpump experience. I do think it is really juicy and interesting that she was dropped to day rate twice over the series. And I do think it's really interesting how she talks so much about how Lisa would call her and kind of feed her information. And that's probably why she was one of Lisa's favorites. Lisa was just using her over and over again. And I don't know if she's using that as an excuse for some of her actions on this show, but I do believe that Lisa was doing that. I do feel like Scheana is literally the perfect bait to get someone to do what you want them to do. And I could understand why Scheana is probably so offended, feels so taken advantage of. Not only was she doing so much of Lisa's bidding and doing the dirty work to keep the show going, but then she was dropped to day rate twice. And then obviously the show was canceled. I just feel like I would feel so disrespected. Obviously the way the show started with Brandy and Scheana and leading from Beverly Hills into Vanderpump was so interesting. However, the way Scheana talks so many times about how she's literally the reason the show existed is ridiculous. The rest of the cast had so much drama going on within themselves. Like, they didn't need Scheana for extra drama. That, if anything, felt more manufactured because you're bringing this outside person into our group. So the fact that she takes so much credit for the show existing is hilarious to me. I was listening to the chapters of her talking about the celebrity men she dated like this. Oh, so much secondhand embarrassment. I was like, this is so cringe. This is so cringe. Make it stop. Make it stop. Make it stop. Because she made it seem like these relationships were such a big deal. And you know, none of these guys remember it. None of them. None of them. I mean, good for her. Good for her. But it's just hilarious and so embarrassing to listen to. And something that always drove me crazy about Scheana is how much she referenced herself as a home-wrecking whore. And maybe I'm just like not in her comment section. Maybe people are calling her that a lot. Obviously, Stassi used to call her that on the show. But I have heard no one call Scheana a home-wrecking whore more than Scheana. I'm like, if you don't want to be known by that, stop calling yourself that. Stop. Like, obviously, she effed up so badly with Eddie, but like, that's Eddie's fault too. Like, it's ridiculous. I hate how she keeps branding herself as that. I'm like, just stop. But the whole Eddie thing too. That chapter was interesting. I didn't know that she worked at the cigar lounge and that's how they met. But the fact that she acts like 2006 or 2007, whenever she met him, was literally the 1800s is ridiculous. Come on. We had the internet, okay? That's the way she acts, like she had to go out of her way to IMDb Google him because she didn't have like a computer or whatever. I'm like, but you Googled him, you Googled his IMDb, but just not his name. I just don't believe any of it. And I kind of wish she just owned up a little bit more to what she knew about Eddie instead of still claiming she didn't know anything. Because even when she found out that he was dating Brandy, she still continued to date him. So it's like, you knew, okay? Come on, girl. Come on. You're not always the victim. My sister and I argue a lot about Scheana because I've always been a little bit of a Scheana apologist. I always kind of felt like, yeah, she makes these mistakes and she does these dumb things, but like, she is just like innocently and naively doing them because she doesn't know better. My sister's like, no, Christina, that is how she is. And that is how I felt reading the chapter about Eddie, where she's like, once the whole thing with him and Leanne Rimes broke, she went to go get press about it. And I'm like, oh, I guess she is more advantageous than I thought, you know? The whole chapter is about Scandival and Brock cheating on her. First of all, I love the whole Scandival drama, like just reliving it again. I can listen to it over and over again. So I liked hearing all about it once again. What I thought was really interesting was how she said that everyone thought she was so envious of Ariana. But really the thing that she was most envious was that Ariana was able to just leave after Scandival happened and like forget him and move on with her life. But after Brock cheated on her, she couldn't do that. Like, she had to choose staying married to someone. She had to think about her daughter over and over again. And as a mom of 2 kids, I felt that like your life completely changes when you have children, and every single action that you take, everything that you do reflects upon them and will affect them for the rest of their life. So It's not so easy to just pick up and leave. Like, I get how she was saying that. That I thought was really interesting. I also thought her saying that she didn't want to bring it up on season 11 because, one, she hasn't truly processed it, and two, she thought that the audience was going to be like, you're just trying to take away from Ariana. Like, who knows if this is even true? Scheana, there goes Scheana making everything about Scheana again, which honestly people would have done. So I understand where she was coming from with that as well. She also said that she had to forgive Sandoval because how could she forgive Brock for cheating on her, but not forgive Sandoval for cheating on her friend when he's also been such a good friend to her, blah, 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 blah. I thought that was interesting. And also she goes a little bit more into detail about her and Raquel's friendship. And I could imagine, I know like she makes everything about her, but I could imagine how completely blindsided she was by everything as well. And even though it didn't happen to her, like these two people being your best friends and lying to your face over and over again, I could see how that would be so upsetting, give her a lot more trust issues, and just make her feel so anxious over and over again. In the Sandoval chapter, she must have just learned the word duplicitous because she used it at least 3 or 4 times. And it was just so obvious. I was like, wow, she really just learned that word and feels so proud to use it. The Brock cheating scandal, something that I feel like we were really missing in the book was her mom and sister's reaction. I wanted to know more about what other people thought about Brock's cheating scandal when they found out about it, especially the people closest to her. We all know that her mom has beef with Brock. What did her mom say? I need to know what her mom said. Was her mom like, you better leave him right now? Or was she like, okay, Scheana, like, just forgive him? I want to know. Overall, I liked it. I thought it was a fun, easy listen, and Scheana is who she is. You're not going to have any groundbreaking information here, okay? However, if you love Vanderpump Rules, it's a fun listen. What I would do to get Stassi's opinions on everything, because I can just imagine her listening to this book and cringing the whole time and laughing the whole time. Oh my gosh, Stassi, we need a book report. Let me know your thoughts.